Whenever you're looking at a crypto project, you have to be asking yourself the question, which ones are the ones worth buying and which ones are the ones not worth buying? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about Polkadot, but this is going to start a whole series of videos where we review different coins, and we're going to break them down into 7 questions you have to ask before you buy. And after asking those questions, I'm going to give you guys the answers and give you my grade on what it does passing each and every single question, and then a final grade at the end of the video telling you what I think potentially if you should buy or sell this coin. With that said, though, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive right on into the number one question you have to ask before even doing any research. What is the utility of this coin? In this case, in this video, we're going to be talking about Polkadot. But every single coin you look at, you got to ask the question, what is the utility? In a nutshell, Polkadot is an interoperability coin that seeks to exchange information between the different ecosystems. You might have heard of things called layer ones, like, for example, Ethereum and Solana and Cardano and several others. Well, ultimately, what those ecosystems do is communicate within their own ecosystem, but they cannot work together. That's where interoperability comes into play and allows Ethereum and Cardano and Solana and other layer ones to actually exchange information. Polkadot comes in to help play the middleman at getting all of that transferred. Now, while there would be many ways to do this from a centralized standpoint, Polkadot does it using Web3 to Web3 decentralization that allows all this to happen with trustless information passing. That is why it is so necessary. And I'm going to go ahead, when it comes to what is the utility, give Polkadot an A for its final grade. The reason it's going to get an A is because interoperability amongst all of the layer ones is a necessity in the future of this planet using blockchain technology. But this leads us into the second question, because Polkadot is not the only coin doing this. The second question is, who are the biggest competitors? Before I tell you the biggest competitor of Polkadot, let's start with 2 that are technically kind of competitors, but not completely. Number 1 is Chainlink. And while Chainlink is very, very good at interoperability, it focuses more on real-world asset interoperability, meaning it's going to be taking Web 2 things and combining them with the Web 3 world. Polkadot, on the other hand, is Web 3 to Web 3. So are both these coins interoperability coins? Yes, but Polkadot serves a much different purpose than Chainlink. And we even have had a relationship built between Polkadot and Chainlink, meaning that Chainlink really is not going to be a strong competitor to Polkadot. Another competitor that kind of exists, but is not very strong, is ICP. Now, ICP is going to be way more focused in the AI world of Web3 development. So technically, it is a competitor to Polkadot, but in another way, just like Chainlink, not really. The one and major competitor to Polkadot is Cosmos, or what some people call Atom. So that kind of wraps up our question number 2. Who are the competitors? I'm going to be giving Polkadot a B on this one. Why? Because even though it doesn't have that many competitors, Cosmos is a very good project and does help solve a lot of problems. I still am going to give the edge to Polkadot as being the larger token and the one more heavily utilized, but I do want to make sure you guys understand Atom is a strong project and should not be ignored when it comes to competition. But that leads us into question number 3. What makes it different than its competitors? The biggest difference here is that Polkadot uses what are called parachains. I'm not going to get too deep into what these exactly mean, but effectively what happens is that Polkadot, when it's settling the transactions of the information from one layer 1 to another layer 1, it does all of this in the native ecosystems. So for example, if I'm transferring information from Ethereum to Cardano, all of the transfers will happen within the Ethereum or Cardano ecosystem. This allows for a very speedy transformation of that information and does not have congestion within the DOT ecosystem. This is different than Cosmos because, unlike Polkadot, Cosmos handles the transactions within their own ecosystem, meaning that congestion can happen frequently. So the question of what makes Polkadot special is ultimately the parachains that allows information to be passed thoroughly without heavy congestion. The grade I'm going to give this one is once again a B. Why? Because even though it's more reliable to transfer on DOT, I don't want to mislead you into thinking that Cosmos is just constantly bogged down by all of this congestion. It just is something that is possible to happen on Cosmos, whereas Polkadot, you don't have to worry about it. Now we move into question number 4, and we're going to really start getting into the meat and potatoes of why I'm so big on Polkadot moving forward. Before I do that, though, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe to the channel to get more information on charts and news just like this video to help you make informed decisions on what coins to invest in, on what coins to not invest in, and when to get in and when to get out. Now, there are several big partners to Polkadot that make it a very reliable project. Number one, we're going to have Cardano. We have recently in the last couple of months had a partnership between Cardano and Polkadot to make sure that things happen seamlessly. This means the team that is working together here are sharing information on how to build and develop both ecosystems. Charles Hoskinson and Gavin Wood are two of the greatest minds in the world of crypto, and they're the two founders of these coins. Now that they are working together and they're pairing their brains together, this is very bullish for both projects, but that's not the only partner. Polkadot has also partnered with Vodafone, Deloitte, KYX, Sony, Uniswap, Beatport, Pokemon Go, Call of Duty, and Zodia. All of these are very large companies with a lot of A, money, and B, prestige. And these types of partnerships just tell you the confidence that people have in the Polkadot ecosystem. And so because of this, we're going to give a very easy A. The partnerships that Polkadot have created are amazing and is a massive reason why Polkadot is not going anywhere and should get some good returns on your investment. But now let's get into question number 5. And this is potentially one of the biggest questions you have to ask about every single coin. You need to know the answers of the questions leading up to this one, but ultimately this is a make it or break it question you must have the answer to before investing in any coin or token. And that is, what are the tokenomics? Before we even get into the tokenomics, I'm actually going to go ahead and give you the grade on this question right up front. This is going to be the lowest one for Polkadot, giving it a B-. And let me explain why. Now, currently there are 1.43 billion tokens in Polkadot, and only 94% of them are in current circulation. What that means is while we have a lot created, there's a very, very large amount of that percentage that are operating in the ecosystem right now. The problem is there's an infinite cap on how many can be created. What does that mean? Well, technically speaking, the Polkadot team can decide to print new tokens whenever and however with an infinite amount of inflation. What's another coin just like that or currency? The US dollar. Currently very much struggling from inflation. Now, I'm not going to put the same demons on Polkadot's back that are on fiat currency like the US dollar, but this is something that would keep me from giving it an A and is going to put us somewhere around the B- spot because that infinite supply is something you're always going to have to be aware of when it comes to Polkadot. Now, the good news and the reason why we're not giving this a D or an F for the tokenomics is because all the new tokens that will be created are mostly just going to be going to node and stake operators, meaning we're not just going to be printing new coins to give to the public. There will be rewards for those who decide to lock up and stake their money on the Polkadot ecosystem, allowing it to continue to run and be successful. At this point, the expectation is that we really should only see about 5% inflation, meaning that by next year, we should see somewhere around 1.5 billion tokens in the circulation. This isn't the end of the world. That's why I'm going to give it a B- and say that it's still acceptable. However, going forward, I would like to see more clarity from the Polkadot team as far as what are the rules as to when and how tokens will be created, and is there any expectation of a burn mechanism or something that could stop the growth of the token, because we don't want to see a repeat history of fiat currency where we're printed into oblivion. We like seeing strong caps. Moving on, let's get into question number 6. Who is the team that built the project? Now, this is going to be an easy A because some of the greatest minds went into the making of Polkadot. And I'm not going to go into details and bore you with all their history, but I will tell you the 3 people that you should know about. Number 1, the founder, Gavin Wood, who actually helped co-found Ethereum as well, is the number 1 reason why you should be big on Polkadot. He is one of the top minds in blockchain technology in the world. It's one of the reasons why Charles Hoskinson and Cardano partnered with them. It's also part of the reason why you should be big on Polkadot. The other founders are Robert Habermeyer and Peter Szaban. All 3 of these characters are renowned for their work in cryptocurrency blockchain space, and this is one of the top teams out there. Really, that is enough said on this question. We have one of the top teams in the crypto space, easy A+ when it comes to the founders. Now, the seventh and final question that everyone needs to know the answer to before you heavily invest in a coin is how strong is the community? For reference, let's compare it to some very, very strong communities in the rest of the crypto space. And to do this, I don't think there's a better way of looking at this other than going to x.com, formerly known as Twitter, and taking a look at Twitter pages associated with the brands. To put this in reference, Bitcoin right now has 6.5 million followers on their X account. This is very, very large. We don't necessarily have to see it the same standards as Bitcoin, but let's take a look at some other communities like XRP and Cardano, renowned for their very passionate and strong fan bases that argue for them religiously, and compare those to what Polkadot is looking at. Now, let's take a look at Cardano, which has one of the most rabid fan bases out there, and I'm a part of this group, but people defend their Cardano religiously. Their X account is followed by 1.3 million people. Not too bad. It's not necessarily as big as Bitcoin, but not too bad. Then you go to another team that is known for their army mentality, and that is XRP. They're coming in at a whopping 2.7 million, so more than double that of Cardano, but still below Bitcoin. Ultimately, what we're looking at here is that anything between 1 to 6 million followers is going to show you a strong sign of a community, and that's where you bring in Polkadot. Not necessarily as big as XRP or Bitcoin, but is actually bigger than the Cardano community, coming in at 1.5 million followers. Now, Polkadot doesn't seem to have the same antics in their community that we do with Cardano and XRP, where the fans defend it at the cost of potentially pissing off the rest of the world. We do, though, see a very strong following and engagement with Polkadot, and for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and give it an A for this last question: how strong is the community? So now, wrapping this all together, we've taken a look at the different 7 questions on Polkadot, where we've seen several A's, a couple of B's, but what are we going to give the grade overall? While I'm tempted to go with an A, I'm going to go ahead and go with a B plus on Polkadot, which is a very good grade. But the only thing keeping it from being an A is the question marks to the tokenomics. So as we see the development of the tokenomics come out and some more clarity from the team, Polkadot easily could be raised to an A on this ranking scale. But for now, we're going to stick with a B plus, just because if the circulating supply were to double, that would have massive impacts on the price of Polkadot. In a future video, I will give you guys a price prediction on Polkadot so you can see just how much you could make if you hold it in this bull market. But with that said, that's all I have for you in this video. Go ahead and smash the like button and leave a comment down below what you liked about this video, what you did not like, and what are your thoughts and your grades for the Polkadot ecosystem. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next video.